Well, it finally happened. That sword of Damocles that has been hanging over my head for years now has finally dropped, and some major changes are coming. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this Sunday Stuff and Things, we have stuff. Oh boy, do we have stuff and things to talk about, including the normal things, upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and working. And then the main topic of the day will be dealing with the fact that the Stuff and Things YouTube channel, a channel which I have been diligently maintaining for nearly 11 years now, a channel which has garnered over 55,000 subscribers, which has garnered millions of views, has been completely demonetized by YouTube, and I have been kicked out of the YouTube Partner Program. We're gonna get into all this. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still working through, trying to understand. As always, YouTube is completely opaque about their policies and what they're doing. We'll get into that, and then of course we'll get into your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag #AskStuffandThings. So let's get into it. Okay, gang, what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and working? Well, coming up, this week we will have a review of the Domke F6 little bit smaller shoulder camera bag. It has been my new daily camera bag. You know that I do photography pretty much every single day. Whenever I have a spare moment, I grab my cameras, I run outside, and I take pictures. And lately I've been carrying two cameras with me at all times, my Fuji X100VI and my old Nikon FE2 film camera. And the Domke F6 camera bag has been carrying those cameras with aplomb. So we'll be reviewing that. The week after will not be the McBaron Royal Twist Deluxe Limited Edition 2023 roll cake video. It was gonna be a blend spotlight. That will be posting exclusively to Patreon because YouTube does not want it on their platform. We'll get into that more in the next section. The week after that, on Stuff and Things, will be Listening Party, Nirvana, Nevermind. Ooh, a very seminal album, an album that was super influential to me as a young middle schooler. When that album came out, it completely changed my ideas about music and just all sorts of things. One of my most favorite albums of all time. And then Working 43 is out. We have had a spate of very cold weather. It finally hit us here in the Pacific Northwest, all the cold that had been hitting the rest of the country. So again, we've had massive delays with the job that we've been trying to work on. Basically, when the ground is frozen, when everything's frozen, you can't pour concrete. So that has been a problem. I'm hoping to get something out this Friday. I don't know if we'll actually be able to accomplish any work out there, but we'll see. We'll try to do an update of some sort. So still lots of other things coming up on Stuff and Things and on Patreon. Please stay tuned. All right, gang. So things have changed a bit. This has been kind of a rough year in general for me, but I've been getting through it. But a couple days ago, actually, I guess it was Friday, I came home and I looked in little Subotai's gerbil cage, and he was dead. So my last gerbil had died. I know some of you may not think that's a big deal, but for me, it was my little guy that I had, that I could come home every day and say, hello, I am here. And it would be a little creature that kind of acknowledged my existence. And I had my routines where I would clean his cage and feed him and everything. And so it was kind of sad. He lived a nice long life over 3 years. And he died doing what he loved. He was running on his wheel, I believe, when he died, because he was on his wheel when I found him dead. But anyway, that was sad, and I was kind of dealing with that. And while I was cleaning his cage out and taking his stiff little corpse out of the cage, I happened to look at my email, and there was an email from YouTube. And the email basically said, your channel has been completely demonetized because of violating community guidelines standards, and you have been kicked out of the YouTube Partner Program. I will probably insert some footage of reading that email and showing you what's going on with the earn page in my YouTube studio section. Just all the stuff that YouTube is saying, which again is very opaque and kind of hard to understand. Alrighty, so here's the email I got out of the blue from YouTube. Your channel is no longer eligible to monetize. Learn how to reapply. Hi, Stuff and Things. Our team of policy specialists carefully looked over your channel, Stuff and Things. We found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube Partner Program YPP policies. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize, and you will not have access to monetization tools and features. While your channel is demonetized, you should not create new or use existing channels to get around these restrictions. This includes using any of your related channels to apply to YPP, YouTube Partner Program, or directing viewers to your other channels that may already be monetizing. Doing so could lead to termination of all your channels. Please go to your earn page in YouTube Studios to read more. So this is something I don't get. So it's almost sounding as though if I were to try to make a completely just demonetized pipe tea channel, I wouldn't be allowed to during this period, because if I start using another channel or if I create a new channel, I don't know. It seems kind of weird, like they're just going to destroy all my channels. Also, Working still isn't in the YouTube Partner Program, and I would like to apply to be in the YouTube Partner Program. If it ever gets enough views, please go check out Working so I can get enough views. It sounds as though I couldn't do that now because of this. I don't know. It all seems like nonsense. Here's what you could do next. If you believe your channel was incorrectly suspended from YPP, you have the option to appeal within 21 days of suspension. Learn more about the appeal process. I'll show you that. You'll see the option to reapply for YPP 90 days from your suspension. 90 days. So if I don't appeal, or if I do appeal and the appeal is rejected, it will be 90 days until I can reapply for YouTube Partner Program. This time period allows you to make changes to your channel to make sure it's in line with our policies. If you reapply, our team will carefully look over your channel again to make sure it now meets our YPP policies. We will email you and update you in YouTube Studio once the process is complete. Find out how to reapply for monetization. What this means for your channel. You'll continue to have access to most creator features on YouTube that enable you to grow your audience, build your community, and manage your videos. You can upload, edit, or delete your videos. If you submit an appeal, we recommend not deleting your videos until we've reviewed your channel. Read, respond to, or moderate your comments. Analyze your channel performance in YouTube Analytics. Get best practices and ideas from the YouTube creator site. Connect with other creators, blah, blah, blah. Additional things to know. There is no change to how your videos are promoted in our search and recommendation systems. I think that is absolute nonsense. Every bit of information I've been able to find about this says that YouTube buries your stuff if it is demonetized, if your channel is demonetized. So I don't believe that. To appeal, you can submit a video appeal or by contacting creator support from within YouTube Studio. So here's my earned page on YouTube Studio, saying that I was demonetized because of harmful content containing illegal substances or promoting sales or dangerous acts concerning drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. So I guess a review is promoting sales. I don't know. Dangerous acts concerning drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. So just using or enjoying a pipe every once in a while is promoting dangerous acts. I don't know. It's nonsense. Appeal if you think we made a mistake. If you think we made a mistake, submit an appeal telling us why. We'll review your appeal and get back to you with a decision within 14 days. Only choose this option if you haven't deleted any videos since your channel was suspended from monetization. A form will load on this page. Use this to write your appeal. Tell us about your channel and how it doesn't violate the feedback above. Add links of your videos, particularly the most viewed. After you submit an appeal, you'll get email updates about its status. So if you hit Start Appeal, the only thing that comes up is this Contact Us form. And it just says this form is intended for support issues. And then it asks for your name, your last name, your channel URL. How can we help you? And then you have to check, is this about a specific video? Yes or no? And then if you are looking to appeal a yellow $ for your video, have you already done so in Studio? Yes or no? Those are the only options. It doesn't have a form for appealing demonetization.
I don't know. Like, the whole thing is completely opaque. The whole thing is ridiculous. And that's kind of where we are right now.
So that's what YouTube is saying. I have tried to go through the appeal process. I don't have a lot of confidence that that will bear any fruit, and I still can't seem to load an actual appeal form. The only thing I can get is just the general, like, community customer feedback form or I need help form, which I've never had any luck with anyone ever responding to from YouTube. But I did write and attach a letter to the feedback form in which I was saying that I'm trying to appeal this. I'll read you this letter very quickly. Hello. I would like to appeal the sudden and without warning demonetization of my channel, and I would also like to get some clarity about what I've done wrong because I've been trying very hard to follow the rules. My channel is almost 11 years old. I've been posting multiple videos a week for that entire time. I have built up a community of over 55,000 subs. I would call my channel a lifestyle channel where I review products and do vlogs. I do talk about the pipe hobby on my channel sometimes, but many of my most viewed videos have nothing to do with this. When I started, you were allowed to monetize videos that had to do with pipes and pipe blends. When new rules about monetization arrived, I stopped even trying to monetize those videos and only monetized videos that had nothing to do with pipes. I thought I was following the rules. The Earn page in Studio says that my channel was demonetized because of, quote, harmful content containing illegal substances or promoting sales or dangerous acts concerning drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. I don't think that fits with the spirit of my channel or the videos that I occasionally do about pipes or pipe blends. When I review a pipe blend, the video always focuses on the nuances of the flavors. I never encourage binging or overindulgence, and I never link to websites or stores that sell the products. Reviewing pipe blends is like reviewing fine wines or coffee. People who enjoy the hobby usually have a pipe maybe once a week, a couple times a week. They enjoy talking about the nuances of the flavors they detect. It's one of the most innocuous hobbies I can think of, and while it does involve tobacco, it's all natural, without added chemicals, and the people who enjoy the hobby are by and large indulging a few times a week. It's a quiet, contemplative activity that has no equivalence with the cigarette habit and the health risks that possesses. In the main contact form above, I have linked to several of my most viewed videos on my channel. Many of them, or most of them, have nothing to do with the pipe hobby. So I'm basically trying to point out the fact that they're completely demonetizing my channel based on the fact that I'm posting videos that up until 5 minutes ago I was allowed to post. They weren't allowed to be monetized, but I could have them on my channel, and now they've suddenly decided that all of your content, even the stuff that has nothing to do with pipes, has to be demonetized. I hope that I can get in touch with someone from YouTube who can work with me and help me with this issue, who can explain to me how things work, how to follow the rules, and how to get partner status and monetization back for my channel. I've dedicated so much time and effort to YouTube. It took a lot of hard work to get where I am on this platform, and it's very distressing to wake up one day and find that all of that effort was for naught. Sincerely, blah, 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 blah. So that's where we are. I haven't heard anything back from YouTube, and I have been trying to go through my options and figure out what to do. I have to admit, based upon how things have been going recently and the state of mind I was in when I read this email, you know, I was burying my little buddy. And I had just recorded the listening party video for Nevermind, and the audio was kind of screwy, and I was having so much trouble getting that fixed. And then to read this, I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. Sorry about the language, but I just thought, you know what? What's the point? Why do I bother doing this? It's been 11 years. You know, the sword of Damocles has been hanging over my head this entire time. And what's the point? I'm not getting anywhere. I might as well just quit. And that was kind of my attitude. Just despondent, like, this is ridiculous. I'm not even going to continue doing this anymore. But then I started thinking about it. I was going to do a video right away when I heard the news, but I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been just completely negative and completely despondent and not constructive in any way. So as I let myself sit with the information a little bit more, I started thinking about things, and I've decided that this will not stop us. This is not going to be the end. We have built a community here of 55,000 subs. Now, a lot of those subs aren't necessarily active viewers all the time, but we have a big core of people who are very, very devoted to Stuff and Things and the content. I have made friendships. I have interacted with so many amazing people through doing this, and I'm not ready to just pack it all in and say that's it. So, while things are still kind of up in the air, I don't know what's going to happen with the appeal. I'm assuming the appeal's not going to work. The other option they said on YouTube is that after 90 days, which is ridiculous, you can reapply for the partner program, but you have to purge your channel of the things that YouTube doesn't like. And basically, it seems like YouTube is just saying, for once and for all, we don't want anything tea-related, tobacco-related on this platform. I think that's a stupid decision. I think that you can't really draw any equivalency between a very, I say, fairly innocuous hobby like the pipe hobby and with smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. I just don't think there's an equivalence there. I think that people are putting everything tea-related in the same bucket, and that's ridiculous. But this is what YouTube seems to be doing. They're saying, we don't want this on our platform anymore. And if they don't want it on the platform anymore, fine. I'm not going to put it on the platform anymore. I will be putting it on Patreon. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that, but on Patreon, you don't have to worry about these nebulous advertisers who may be offended by the content you post. On Patreon, the people supporting the content are you, the patrons. And if you are paying for that content, who's going to be able to complain? You're not going to complain because that's what you're paying for. So going forward, I will be posting the pipe videos on Patreon. I will be posting non-pipe videos on YouTube. I don't know what's going to happen to the 11 years of amazing content that has been posted on my channel. I don't know if YouTube is going to make me get rid of that completely. If that's the case, I'm going to have to come up with some way to archive that stuff. I have it all. I have it all on hard drives, but I want it to be accessible to all of you. I would hate for that kind of record to just disappear off of the internet. So I'll have to think about that. We'll see. Maybe there's a chance that it could still stay on my YouTube channel. The other thing they said is, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just start a channel that is only pipe related, that is never monetized. But it's saying on the earn page that if I try, oh, it's getting way too light here. If I try to start another channel and try to direct people towards that they might completely destroy all my channels. Like, I don't know. It's all very unclear. That's why I need to actually get in touch with someone from YouTube, which who knows if that will ever happen, but I need someone to explain to me what's going on. But it seems like right now I'm not allowed to start another channel and put the pipe stuff on there. I don't know. It'd be great if I could just separate that out and have at least a record and archive of all the pipe stuff for you guys to watch. So we'll try to figure that out. As of now, pipe stuff will be posting on Patreon. Non-pipe stuff will be posting on the Stuff and Things YouTube channel. None of it is monetized right now at all. I don't know if it ever will be again. So the only way you guys can support me is through Patreon now. I'm not making any YouTube revenue whatsoever. And I know some people will say, well, who cares? You should be doing this for free. And I don't quite understand that. I put a lot of work. I've spent a lot of years making this content and trying to put stuff out for everyone every single week. And so I don't think it's necessarily reasonable to say that I shouldn't make any money doing it. I'd like to make a little money doing it. I'd like to wet my beak a little bit. So if you like anything I do, the YouTube stuff that isn't pipe related, and especially the pipe stuff, if you want to support me and if you want that stuff to continue, you can go to Patreon. There is a link in the description box below. Now's the time, gang. I think I have about 100 people on Patreon, 50 some of whom are actually paying subscribers. And if I think about how many thousands of people watch the pipe content, you know, maybe some of you will think that it's worth actually paying for that content. I'm not separating things by tiers. If you put $2 a month, that's the lowest tier on Patreon. You'll have access to all the pipe content. If you want to do $5 a month, that would be even better. That would help out a lot. You'll still have access to all the same content. If you do the $25 a month shout out tier, the producer tier, you'll still have access to the same content. I don't want to make it like, oh, if you do $2 a month, you'll get some of this, but you won't get this, and vice versa. Like, basically, if you do the lowest tier on Patreon, you'll have access. And it just means that I'll be able to post whatever I want. I don't have to worry about my verbiage when I'm speaking in the videos. I can say pipe smoking, I can say tobacco, I can say all those things on these Patreon videos. We can talk about whatever we want because we don't have to worry about YouTube. We don't have to worry about YouTube advertisers. We only have to worry about you. If you don't want to support the content, that will be a decision that you make, and then I will have to figure out what I'm going to do after that. I'm hoping that you'll want to keep supporting the content. I'm hoping that a lot more of you will decide to support the content so that I can continue doing this. I don't want to stop. That's kind of what I've decided. Or not kind of, that is definitely what I've decided. I don't want to stop doing this. And I think we've built up a community that will not only weather this storm, but will come out even bigger and better on the other side. In some ways, maybe this is a good thing. Like I said, I've been feeling this sense of dread hanging over me on YouTube for years now. It first started, I think, around 2018 when they started demonetizing a bunch of the videos that previously had been fine. YouTube had no issue with them in the past, but everything that YouTube does is always retroactive. If you posted a video about something on your channel 2 years ago and then suddenly they decide they don't like that, they will punish you for the thing you did 2 years ago when it wasn't breaking the rules. That's just the way YouTube is. But because this has been hanging over us for so long, maybe we can just rip it off and not have to worry about this YouTube stuff anymore as far as pipe stuff goes, as far as pipe-related videos go. We can post those on Patreon, and with your support, I can continue posting those on Patreon. Now, some people have mentioned Rumble or other alternative video hosting sites. I have tried Rumble multiple times. In fact, it's probably been a year and a half ago now, maybe almost 2 years ago, I was actually working with managers at Rumble to try to migrate my content onto Rumble. It never worked. It's a complete disaster. I got some videos onto Rumble. I could never find them when I was on Rumble. I could find them through my dashboard on Rumble, but if you were on Rumble, you could never find them. They have combined like a couple views. Nobody watched them. Nobody paid any attention. All the advertisement on Rumble is all these like scam products and just shady stuff. There's no discoverability. The interface for actually posting videos and managing your channel is a complete shambles. I've tried multiple times to have a viable platform on Rumble, and it just doesn't work. It's a complete disaster. Maybe that will change sometime in the future, but for now, YouTube is really the only viable video sharing site that's free, that has a large user base and good discoverability. Now, obviously, it's not great for pipe stuff. They've made that very clear, but that's why it's amazing that we can have platforms like Patreon. I've looked at other stuff like Vimeo and Dailymotion and stuff, but to post the amount of content that I would need to archive my pipe stuff on Vimeo, you have to pay hundreds of dollars a month to host that much, that just amount of bandwidth. So we'll see what we can do. Your support on Patreon is going to be huge going forward, and we're not going to let this kill us. We're going to get bigger and better going forward. We're still going to be producing the content that you want to see. It's just going to have to be in a different place. It'll have to be hosted on Patreon and not on YouTube. But I'm going to keep you posted on what's going on with all of this stuff. If anyone ever gets in touch with me from YouTube, we'll see. My feeling is that I probably will never hear anything from YouTube, and that in 3 months' time, I will have to turn Stuff and Things into just a non-pipe related channel, which is fine. I can post the non-pipe stuff on Stuff and Things. And, you know, frankly, I think a lot of the times when I would post a video that wasn't pipe related, it would get throttled because much of my channel was pipe related. YouTube just hates the pipe stuff. And I know some of you want me to fight. Screw YouTube, screw them. And I am. That's what Patreon is. That's what you guys are. That is what you know, making our own community is. But if I want to actually post other videos that are non-pipe related, YouTube is still pretty much the only game in town. And I don't want to just completely throw away the 11 years and the 55,000 subs that I have on my main channel. I think you could understand that. So that's where we are for now. I don't want to beat this into the ground, belabor this point over and over again. I don't want to constantly be talking about what's happening with YouTube and the demonetization stuff. Just know that going forward, pipe stuff will be on Patreon. I will try to find a solution for archiving the old stuff that's on this YouTube channel in case it has to leave. I still don't know if that's going to be the case yet. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to get bigger. We're going to get better with your help and with your support. That's where we are. But now, gang, it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. If you are a Patreon supporter, and I'm hoping many more of you will be in the future, you can write to me via Patreon and go right to the front of the line. I don't know if you can still hit the super thanks button under this video. I don't think you can. I don't think you can anymore because YouTube has kicked me out of the partner program. Yeah, I don't think that works anymore. But you could also leave questions, comments, and feedback under my YouTube videos, and I will do my best to answer all of them. I'm getting 1,000 text messages right now because today is also my birthday. Yes, thank you people for saying happy birthday to me. Anyway, we have our first amount of feedback. This is from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. It is from, here we go again. See if I can butcher this. Eronati del Tabacco a della Pipa. It's simply a super thanks, and it says grazie. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That might be the last time you're able to do that. You might have to move that over to Patreon. Next, from @BriarScholar says, it depends on your definition. Okay, so we were talking about vapurkies. Technically, or yeah, is that what we decided? Vapurky? Yeah, a vapor Kentucky. Technically, Haunted Bookshop would fit the title of Vapurky, and I love that stuff, especially the cake version. Old Gowery is probably my favorite in the genre. See, people were talking about this. I think if a blend is mostly a vapor, mostly a Virginia Perique with a little bit of Kentucky, then it's a Vapurky. But if it's more burley or Kentucky forward, then I don't think it's a Vapurky. I think maybe it's a Burr Vapor. Maybe. We'll have to decide. Next, at 64RPJ, Vapurky is Hans Weidmann's favorite blend type. Now that his HUT line is available in the US, I guess you should definitely check them out. He's a talented German blender. Director's Cut is one of his most emblematic blends. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about the HU blends. I will definitely have to check some of those out. At Diesel Stuff, 2952 says, probably my favorite is One You've Reviews. GLP's Triple Play. Yeah, that's one that I thought of, actually, too. It's super savory and reminds me of a pot roast. I did not like Royal Twist Deluxe. It was too mild. Really? I didn't think of it as being too mild. So that review will be, or the, what's it called? Blend Spotlight will be posting, not this week, but the week after on Patreon. And if you check that out, you will find that I found it, I wouldn't say full flavored, but it was definitely, it was bold. There's a lot going on in there. At Piper Calvinist says, HU's Louisiana Broken and Director's Cut are great man, I need to be able to know my own word that I invented. Vapurky blends. Maybe I invented it. I mean, I maybe independently invented it, but other people might have invented it as well. There's also Rattray's okay, so we'll get into the pronunciation of Rattray's too. Hal of the Wind and Old Gowery. GLP's makes Penny Farthing, which is pretty good, and C&D has Exhausted Rooster. However, my favorite Vapurky is C&D's Bourbon Blue, a totally underrated blend in my humble opinion. It has a bourbon casing and is loaded with flavor. Not sure if I would love that, but maybe I'll check that out at some point. At Goily Me, as someone who damaged his back, keeping an eye on your back health is so important. We abuse our backs, I think, often overlooking the strain we place on it in daily life, and without much thought on what could possibly go wrong, tweaking can occur so easily, and for the most minor of movements. Uneven landings or missteps can easily upset your spinal column. It's that old Swiss cheese probability thing at work. It's debilitating being laid up with back trouble, so take care and recover as quickly as possible. Yeah, I still have a little pain. It's getting better, but yeah, it is this, this thing that's always lurking in the background and you never know when it's going to jump out at you. You can think that you're doing everything right, and then, like you said, just one little twist or misstep and it can jump out. At Piper Calvinist says, by the way, I contacted Rattray a couple months ago to ask them how to correctly pronounce their name. They replied rather quickly to my inquiry and said that the correct pronunciation is Rattray. So I think that's what you're saying here. So like saying Rattray, not Rattray or Rattray, like most people pronounce it. How do I say it? I say Rattray. I think I say Rattray. Maybe. Just thought I'd share since correct pronunciation was the subject of discussion and a Rattray blend was the subject of concern. So Rattray. I think I'm trying to say that, but it's very awkward to say Rattray. So it's a tray of rats, or rats are holding trays. Well, just say it how you like. And then finally, we have some feedback from the Eagle and Child Ent Rusticated Billiard Pipe. This is from Frank D'Agostino, 77. Seems like a great little pipe. It is. At Tom Brown, 1898 says, Bradley, nice pipe. Ashton has similar stems, although they are listed as Cumberland. Yes. So if you have that kind of marbled vulcanite look, that's a Cumberland stem. The rustication on the bowl looks like the old GBD rockroot finish. Yeah, now that I think about it. I would love to have a pipe of that size and styling. They are exquisite. As for the Tolkien connection, both of my exes were into fantasy and sci-fi, but definitely not into pipes. One of them actually grabbed several of mine and smashed them on the sidewalk with a brick. Seems like an overreaction. At 1961, MJS says, disappointed that it's solely Tolkien pipes. The name implies all the Inklings. The Inklings were a collection of great authors, not just Tolkien. C.S. Lewis, Roger Lanson Green, Charles Williams, Owen Barfield, just to name a few. Lewis is the only other one that I've read out of that group. But yeah, maybe they will do that in the future. Okay, but now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Now, more than ever, your support on Patreon is super important. It is the only thing, literally now, that will keep this channel going and all the content I do for Stuff and Things and working. There is a link in the description box below for our Patreon. And yeah, as I just went on probably too long in the previous section, Patreon is now the only way to support this content, and it will be, at least for this foreseeable future, the only way to access the pipe content going forward, because YouTube doesn't want it on their platform. You also get content early and ad-free on Patreon, even though now the ad-free thing might not matter. See, I would love it if you guys would let me know whether or not you're still getting ads on my videos, because in the past, when I wasn't able to monetize a pipe video, I think YouTube was still putting ads on those videos and getting revenue from it, even though I wasn't allowed to. And I'd be curious to know if my entire channel now still has ads, because again, YouTube is just stealing from me, basically, if that's the case. Anyway, you'll get stuff early, stuff that posts on YouTube you'll get early. The pipe content will be exclusive to Patreon going forward. Anyway, every week we like to shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. The heroes, the producers of Stuff and Things. People like Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, The Friendly Piper, Great Groll, Charles Mowers, and Glenn. Just Glenn. And of course, the maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month, people like Bob McGee and Ryan McFadden. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, thank you so much for watching. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. We are going to get bigger and better. We will only get stronger as YouTube tries to get rid of all the pipe stuff. Maybe they'll succeed in getting rid of all the pipe stuff, but they're not going to get rid of us, because we have built a community here. We can just take our toys and go to Patreon, because they can't do anything about that. If you are helping to pay for the content, you get to decide what the content is, not YouTube. And that's the amazing thing about crowdfunding. So I'll see you on Patreon for the pipe stuff. I'll see you back here on YouTube for all the non-pipe stuff. I'll keep you posted on things going forward. But for now, until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday Stuff and Things. Fight the power! I'll see you later.